My friend, I want you to be aware of something that is happening right now, and it's really critical that you grab onto this. And it's going to be difficult because what I'm telling you is very, very strange. The left loves domestic terrorism. The left loves domestic urban shock troops. It goes back to the 60s and the weather underground SDS, the Black Panthers, whatever you want to call this. They love this and love these people. I don't know what it is. I have no idea of where this came from. But there's one thing I want you to be aware of, and I want you to follow up on this, which is really critical. And a lot of things that I tell you, you have to follow up on yourself. You can't expect me just to hand it to you. And I came upon this on something which is very, very, very interesting. There is a movement. There is a belief. I'm trying to grab this for you right now, that seems to think that Antifa is really not a big deal. That it's some kind of a cutout. It's some kind of a, I don't know what you want to call it. Some kind of a cover up for something bigger. And that it's basically contrived by the Trump administration in order to fool you into thinking that it's something that it is not. And what's interesting is that there was a piece going around with Max Blumenthal, who's very, very good. And of course, I respect him. There's no doubt about that. But Max Blumenthal believes that Antifa is a sort of a cutout, nothing really to worry about, nothing big, not a big deal. That it's just something that is part of the Trump movement. Let me see if I can, I kind of rephrased it my way. I put it together a little bit clearer, and I put it as a true false. And I didn't provide attribution per se, but I did reference it. And it goes something like this. Let me see if I can tell you. Let me see if I can read this. Forgive me, I'm jumping around here. Remember, you've got to follow up on this. Follow me on X. Lionel Media. This is where I'm reading this. Here we go. Antifa is by classifying Antifa as a terrorist organization, Trump is criminalizing protest and building the perfect government-run terror factory. Since Antifa is already heavily infiltrated by federal agents, so they say, the FBI could stage and manage controlled terror plots under its banner. You see what I'm saying? Are you following this? But yet, when it comes to it being suggested for purposes of January 6th, nobody brings up. It goes, oh, no, that's different. No, January 6th, they were legitimate. Are you following this? This is weird. Let me see if I can explain this again. It's odd. It's strange. I understand it's a very weird kind of a concept. And it may confound you, not because it's that deep, but because it tends to be that way. Let me see if I can explain it to you. The idea is that whenever we claim, whenever say we, you and I, our side, let's just call ourselves what, the right, the populists, the Trumpers, or whatever you want to call it. Whenever we call it this, okay, whenever we call it this, we, how do I say this? We risk people not necessarily believing us. So what they say is, we say, hey, listen, during our January the 6th, we had American patriots who were there. Some of them were rapscallions. Some of them were bad. You're right about that. Yes. Some of them were problematic. But they were the victim of infiltration. They were the victim of infiltration on that date. absolutely, positively, 100%. And the left said, that's ridiculous. There you are with your conspiracy theories. You're crazy. The conspiracy theories, there was no such thing as that. Come on, stop it. That's what people actually believe. They believed in this notion that we're crazy. But Antifa, which is throwing off of, now follow me on this one, Antifa gets in the way of a lot of people finding themselves in a way that is not consistent with the usual pro-Palestinian, anti-Zionist movement. Are you confused by this? You should be big time. Let me see if I can explain this again. As I said last night, and I'm going to be developing this more, and this is something which, frankly, a lot of people don't understand. They don't like this, and I can understand why they don't, because this completely subverts a lot of theories. But most Americans do not find anything necessarily as enthralling about the Palestinian movement as the left would think. Just doesn't work. Not because the right doesn't care. It's not because we, whatever, don't care. It doesn't work like that. It's just a different story for reasons that I can't explain. Okay? They believe that when we talk about things like Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, what we're doing is that we're getting away from that message because the two can't work simultaneously. Meaning, they believe that you cannot be somebody who says, I think what is happening in Palestine or among the Gazans is horrible. I think it is terrible. I think it is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It is the worst. It is horrible. Something has to be done. Something has to be done. Simultaneously, I don't want to lose the essence of my country. Do you hear what I'm saying? It doesn't work for them. I can believe four things simultaneously. I can believe that Black Americans, in whole or in part, suffer from institutional vestiges of racism and have not taken advantage of that which was provided and have a lot of this coming themselves. And you can have four different things. The Republican Party, I think, is so many respects correct and is incorrect and is negligent and is prescient. People can't do this. It's all or nothing for them. And you had better be able to do this or else you're going to be lost. Antifa is real. It is here. Cutouts, yes. Infiltration by the government, yes. Agent provocateur, yes. All of these things can coexist concomitantly. And that might seem to you rather redundant. Coexist concomitantly means exactly that. This is something which is really critical. I want you to understand this. There is a move right now, and I'm just going to say this. I was listening to this debate the other night, and it's the talk of the town. It's Max Blumenthal versus Alan Dershowitz. And you would say he absolutely crushed it. That Alan Dershowitz was destroyed by... I didn't think so. Not at all. I didn't think it was that. You had to be a fan. You had to be a Blumenthal fan to understand this in the first place. This is something which is really, really, really fascinating. And people don't like this because there's too many moving parts. I want our government to go after what happened on January the 6th. Why did that happen? Number two, I want to find out who exactly is Antifa. Number three, do Do the feds, does our government, do all governments use different people? Have they infiltrated the pro-Palestinian movement? Did they infiltrate the Klan? Did they infiltrate the Black Panthers? Do they? Yes, they've always done this. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. This is the most important thing in the world. You've got to be able to handle a lot of things concomitantly. Let me also tell you something which is critical, which I hope you understand. And by the way, Weird and Jason, thank you for joining. Sorry, I didn't mean to just pop on, but I had to tell you this. There's something very, very serious I want to bring to your attention. And I'm not just saying this, I'm not just kidding around. I mean it like you cannot believe. There are a lot of folks in the world today saying some really scary things out there. And there's a lot of scary folks. And when I talk about civil war and things, there are people who specifically want there to be civil war. I want you to go to Zero Hedge today. Zero Hedge, there's some great articles on the subject. There is something that is going to be happening here. There is something that is absolutely positively going to be developing before our very eyes. I'm finding out that Zoran Mamdani is immediately trying to go after our police. We're seeing Antifa feeling ready to go to because they haven't had a good riot in a long time. Andy No is doing this. When I talk to you, and I have mentioned before about civil unrest and civil unrest and civil war and riots and Antifa and BLM, I'm not just kidding. I'm not just saying this. Preparedness.com and My Patriot Supply they are the best. I believe in them. It's the only group I recommend. Please go and just look at this. Go to preparewithlionel.com. Don't think it's freeze dried. No, you don't know. Just go and look. You will be amazed. Something horrible is going to happen. That's all I'm going to say. Preparewithlionel.com. I have the link in the description. This is about emergency food, because when it hits the fan, you can take all your Bitcoin and your credit cards and your cash and your diamonds and your gold, and you can eat them. Eat them. Go ahead. Good luck. Trust me when I tell you this. Now is the time to act while you still can. Preparewithlionel.com. Just go. I'm not going to push this anymore. Just go and look, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to go back and try to tell you this again. There's a lot of folks out there who really mean well. And I think this Max Blumenthal does a lot of good regarding making people aware of the horror. Call it genocide, call it apartheid, call it whatever you want. But he is primarily as you would call him, a lefty. And these people are lefties. And they do not believe what's going on. Let me show you this right now. I'm going to give you this piece. This is from Zero Hedge. This is called Prelude to a Civil War. Let me just give you this. This is a wonderful piece. I'm just going to give you the link. Go ahead and check this out. Read it and check it out for yourself. Zero Hedge, when it's on the money, it is absolutely on the money. Okay? You got that? Okay. Now, another one I want you to hear this. I want you to find out here. This is under zero. This is not it. Here we go. This one, this was linked on Alex's show. By the way, Alex did a great one on Building 7. I hope you're watching this. Let me tell you something. He has been so spot on, it's not even funny. Here's the story. Again, a Zero Hedge piece. Leonardo DiCaprio's poorly timed pro-Antifa movie flops at the box office. Let me show you this. They're still pushing it. Remember something. And remember this, like you put the link right here for you. Follow along. The entertainment industry are as much the enemy as anyone else is. Okay? I don't want to use the word like enemy. They are the enemy. I found out yesterday, a friend of mine, New York City School Board. in his class, he's had trans teachers and LGBTQ flags in the school. Do you think that's a big deal? Having a trans teacher? Do you think so? You tell me. Do you think so? Do you think that's not a good thing for kids in schools to see? I don't know. But the point is they're doing it and they're not asking you your opinion. They're not asking you. It's done. It's being done now. It's being done. And you thought, a lot of people said, oh, they kind of calmed down. Nobody calmed down. Nobody's calmed down. This group, I'm telling you, I'm seeing this. And it's very difficult sometimes for people to understand 3, 4, 5 different simultaneous moves. I don't want to make it sound like a chess game, but concomitant moves that kind of throw people off. So let me explain to you something. If I had to run for office, listen, this is the overarching rule. Americans care about Americans. We do not respond to, look at all the money that's going to Ukraine, because we know it's not, well, it's money, but it's not money. And yes, it could be going here, but that doesn't get our attention. It just doesn't. Look at the money that's going to Israel to kill these innocent Gazans and Palestinians. Yes, it bothers us, but unlike like we found with Vietnam, if we're not there fighting, it doesn't mean anything to us. It just doesn't. But when you see Dearborn, Michigan, and you see 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is, calls to prayer, when you see the entire city council, chief of police, the mayor, when you realize, oh my God, I don't care if it's Dearborn, Michigan or Plant City, Florida. It doesn't matter. That's what gets people's attention. That's what gets people's attention. Americans feel very deeply, but most people don't know anything about the Middle East and Ukraine. Do you hear what I'm saying? They don't understand. Okay? When Pete Hegseth made this move, it infuriated the left. How dare you with this ridiculous Fred Flintstone, this barbaric look at, the world. How dare you? Well, let me tell you something about this. This is critical. He brought something up which is really important. And he made people aware of something that, again, it goes to the core of what's happening. If you want to run for office, and this is what I told Trump. Well, what I told Trump, I mean, I said this, I didn't tell him personally. This is the issue that means the most to us. This is the issue. This is the one. This is the issue that means the most to us. Nothing else. Nothing else. It's the meat and potatoes issues. It's the issues that really get your attention, that just infuriate you, that enrage you. And this enrages us. So let me go back to what I'm saying. They're trying to put this idea, they say this Antifa stuff is nonsense. This is some right-wing cover. This is some kind of an attempt by Trump and other people to scare you. It's no big deal. Who cares? So what? The last time I heard something like this? The last time I heard this? It was when it was Zbigniew Brzezinski. And Brzezinski was a dude who said one time that nobody cares about Israel or terrorists because he wanted to crush the Russians. Do you hear what I'm saying? He said, I don't care what they do in Russia. I don't care what they do in Russia. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. I don't care about them. I want to fund the Taliban, the Al Qaeda, whatever you want to call it, they are worth more to me than anything. It is critical that we do this. Critical that we let people know specifically how this thing works. Let me tell you something right now. Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to what I'm saying to you. This is the most important. This is something which I don't think people, I know this may sound kind of weird sometimes for people to sort of kind of grasp this, but you have to have many, many moving parts simultaneously. And sometimes you'll have an issue and you have 4 different groups you agree with, but each of them are different. First, most of us believe, or we have been told, we have been told, if you listen, that Israel has no ground to stand on. Nothing. They're wrong. They're, genocidal maniacs, and they're bloodthirsty. Okay, that's what they want you to believe. That's it. Nothing. They have no, okay. The other group is that they're the opposite. They're genocidal maniacs who have no leg to stand on. They're evil. They're terrible. Okay, you got that? That's kind of more maybe popular in some respects. You also have another group that says that these folks have that all of this talk about domestic terrorism in our country. Let me shut down some of my stuff. All this talk about domestic terrorism is a waste of time. And that what it represents is nothing more than just this lunacy, this absolute lunacy. Do you believe that? I don't. The Max Blumenthals, who are very smart when it comes to very, very smart, these people love Zoran Mamdani. So the people that I am looking to, who I agree with regarding the behavior that's going on in Israel or Palestine, turn around and tell me that as far as my city goes, I'm supposed to like Zoran Mamdani. How does that work out? How do I go to somebody and say, I agree with you on Israel, but don't agree with you on leftist stuff? I don't know. That's why I don't elect Max Blumenthal or Chris Hedges or Dinesh D'Souza or Laura Loomer. That's why they're not, I don't have to vote for them. It's very complicated. I just want you to understand this, to appreciate this. It's very, very complicated. Please stick with me on this one. You have been terrific. I'm going to take you down this thing. You are going to be so much smarter because you're going to be able to handle 4 or 5 different things seemingly inconsistent. And it's not a matter of using catchwords and phrases and the usual stuff, MK Ultra and paperclip and, this jargon that we use to try to impress everybody. Like, hey, look, I know the nomenclature. Hey, look, I'm one of you. We don't do that. This is really stuff. We are, and by the way, this has nothing to do with Trump. I mean, Trump can do whatever it is. Whether Trump's in or not, this is what we have to do. And you have to prove that you're smart enough and tough enough, and I know you are, to handle this. And believe me, they're gonna call you conspiracy theorist, anti-Semite, radical right, white supremacist. I've got it all coming at me. And that's the best sign there is. Do you understand this? This is serious. This is serious. I know our natural instinct sometimes is again, this is serious. Please don't underestimate this. Please don't say, oh, come on. Oh, no. It's huge. It is bigger than anything you can imagine. This is happening. This is domestic. So remember, use your time sparingly. Use it appropriately. And let me tell you something too. Promise me you will do this. You will go to preparedwithlionel.com. And you will not immediately tell me, oh, no, I've got some stuff. No, you cannot go a week without stores opening, without food, without losing your mind. You can't. you're going to go into some intermittent fasting the hard way, okay? And intermittent fasting and autophagy and hormesis is terrific. But understand what we're talking about right now. This is serious, serious business. Go to preparewithlionel.com. See what they've got. Well, I'll never forget the first time I brought this up. Somebody says, well, I've got a fishing pole. A fishing pole? You've got a fishing pole? Dear God. I don't know what it is. There's always this reluctance. I go, oh, I don't need that. Oh, I take my vitamin K. What? Anyway. And by the way, I was reading some great stuff on methylene blue. Do you know how much information there is on methylene blue? Do you know how much? And also, I'm reading fascinating studies about Ozempic and Wegovy. If you're on that, oh my God. Remember this. Remember, you're going to say, I remember when that came out. I remember that people were losing weight left and right. There's nothing like stopping, digestion midway. What could go wrong? All right, my friends. Listen, you have a great day. Don't forget, follow me on WABC 770 WABC. Go to WABCradio.com. Go to the app. Go to my page, my front page at Lionel Media on X, and I'll have the link. I'm going to be on from 1 to 5 overnights. I'm an Iron Man. I'm the Lou Gehrig of this thing of ours. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Love you so much. Keep thinking. I'll be following up on this. And don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. No, that's right. Monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue you. Dad.